And we're here looking at the sun at 211 angstroms today. Welcome to the daily space weather, folks. Thanks to all you new viewers tuning in. The 211 angstroms view is the spectra of iron-14, 13 times ionized iron. We don't always look at it, but we've got a coronal hole-dominated surface here, so we decided to accentuate that by showing off the 211 angstroms view. And we did see a magnetic connection with that north coronal hole located underneath my pointer. And let's just take a quick zoom in on the area setting here in the northwest. Former sunspot 2756. Here's the equatorial region. And there's the south. This is 8.5 hours of activity from today, January 12th. By the way, if you want to know what the different wavelengths are, just head to the Sun Now page on the SDO site. Click this little eye here, and it'll tell you, for instance, 304 angstroms is singly ionized helium. So helium-2, and again, we were looking at the spectra of iron-14, 13 times ionized iron. Here's the 131 angstroms view. This is one of two cameras that take 5 times as many images. So this one and 94 angstroms, folks, are going to take the most images and hence are the best to observe solar flares in. Again, 8.5 hours of activity here. And there are the time and date stamps. Not a lot going on, pretty weak solar activity overall, although we see a small increase in the X-ray flux. Saw a couple B-class flares on January 10th, but they were very small, barely into the B1 range. 10.7 centimeter radial flux is back up to 74. And welcome to cycle 25. Ha ha! It's a good thing, folks. We want to see sunspot cycles, as a cold sun is bad for our health. KP index is at 2. And here's a real-time solar wind. Phi angle has shifted out of a magnetic connection zone, which looks like right here. We did see a 5.9 earthquake hit Puerto Rico, adding further injury to further insult. Solar wind density 2.16 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed down to 403 kilometers a second. A very weak solar wind, and there's the data from ACE, in case you didn't catch the Discover data. And we see this uptick in the relativistic electrons as forecasted. And keep in mind that data is only through the, I'm not exactly sure what date that is. That's from solon.info, if you want to look it up yourself. And there's the forecasted increase in the electron flux. And before we move on, I just wanted to say RIP to Neil Peart, one of my favorite musicians of all time, passing away way too young at age 67. And one of my favorite bands ever. Started listening to Rush in the 1980s. And sad times. I mean, the band broke up last year, actually, if you weren't aware. We reported it on the channel. So anyway, rest in peace, Neil Peart, one of my favorite musicians of all time. Not only a great drummer, but if you weren't aware, he wrote most of the lyrics for Rush also. So I'm going to fade that out as I don't want a copyright strike today. There's the ionosphere map. Looking a little bit anomalous in the South Pacific once again here, as we see it charge up at nighttime. Otherwise, not a lot to comment on there. Looking fairly normal besides those South Pacific anomalies. And we've been monitoring those for about 6 weeks to 2 months. There's the GOES magnetometer. Looking a little bit steep in the graph here. And we are right about to move into the other polarity of the current sheet. That's the heliospheric current sheet. And we're not going to start defining that today in the video, as this is a slightly abridged version. Welcome to the Sunday Ultra Early Edition. There's the data from the Gong 2. This is 1 hour, 45 minutes old, and you can see the Earth's field line is about to snap into the South Pole-oriented portion shown here in red. as we leave the North Pole-oriented current sheet. It's probably happening as we speak, folks. So the time is currently 3:43, where I'm located, and that's in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Here's where planets are in the solar system, as well as the moon and a couple asteroids and so on. There's where they'll be in a week. Venus is catching up, and Mercury's catching up to Venus, finally joining us on this side all alone, as Jupiter and Saturn move into an alignment. No, I don't think Jupiter and Saturn control solar cycles. I think solar cycles control the location of Jupiter and Saturn. Here's the magnetosphere movie, looking at 4 hours of data, as we always do. Shout out to Brett from Alaska. What do you think of the increased quality? Please leave a comment. Not a lot going on there in the magnetohydrodynamic pressure. Let's look at the ground magnetic perturbations. Delta B, changes in the Earth's B field. And not a lot happening there, not a lot of magnetically induced current, etc. During this time of low solar activity, let me advance that. It refreshed. There's the last bit. Tiny little spike there, nothing to write home about, nothing really too interesting. And we had some deadly storms in the U.S., at least 11 people dead. We had tornadoes as well as snow and ice in Iowa. And we had some first responders taken out as a result of this. Links to the USA Today article below the video. Here's the U.S. electric grid induction map. And just want to make our viewers familiar with this, as this is very interesting in terms of predicting things like power outages as a result of induced current from space. Not a lot of induced current today. Let's talk about power outages. Well, there's a bunch, especially in North Carolina, but there's the map. This is, by the way, poweroutage.us. Here's that 5.9 magnitude quake that struck Puerto Rico. And this one is west of the 6.4 magnitude, which was like in this area. And let's just go up the list here. No magnitude 6 quakes over the past 24 hours. And we'll just scroll up so everybody can see what's been going on in the past 24. There's a deep quake at Peru. And Western South America has been seeing plenty of those. There's that 5.9 at Puerto Rico. Not a good time there, as people are just trying to get back into their homes and then finding them collapsing again on top of them. And I'm just going to scroll up here, get rid of that. So not a big deep quake moment or anything like that. There's a deep quake at Papua New Guinea, 4.9 magnitude at 107 kilometers depth, as aftershocks strike Puerto Rico over and over and over again. There's a 4.4 at Alaska. That one's at 228 kilometers. Here's a 5.6 at Bouvet Island, very far south. And we had a 2.8 come in California as we did the video. Now we've put another volcano here, Taal volcano, located on this Philippine peninsula. Just wanted to show everybody the location of that one, as we've put another heart on the windy.com map. And let's zoom out and look at the pressure. Again, that's the location of the Taal volcano. A giant volcanic lake also associated with that. And let's just run the pressure map here. This is the GFS forecast. We'll let it go about 24 hours. Massive anticyclone to the west, north, and east of the U.S. right now, compressing a lot of weather together. And if you're not aware of how atmospheric physics works, folks, high pressure systems run the show. Those are the primary inputs into the atmosphere. Low pressure systems are slaves to high pressure systems. And let's just pause it there. That's 1300 Zulu tomorrow. And some anomalous weather actually here over the eastern U.S. And all that massive high pressure air holding in place the systems over the U.S. right now. And let's just move on here, as there's plenty of more stuff to cover. Volcano rundown includes Mount Aso. Possible activity. Please don't pitch a tent on the lower slopes of Mount Aso. Sakurajima exploded. Flight level 6,000 there. There's Tal, produced a 5,000-foot ash plume. Popocatépetl created some emissions. Fuego has dissipated its ash, and Sabancaya continuously emitting ash. Please don't pole vault Sabancaya. Here's where lightning is, courtesy lightningmaps.org. If you haven't checked it out, next time you hear thunder, check it out. It's good times. Here's the jet streams over the western world. And we see some extreme meridional jet stream flow. It's going to be some cold, cold days in northern Africa once again, as the jet stream's flowing nearly south into that region. Wouldn't be surprised to see some more snow in Tunisia and places like that, like Libya, Algiers, etc. Here is the eastern world's jet streams. Quite wavy there as well. And again, getting some very cold weather apparently in the Middle East. Here's a U.S. Doppler radar map. And I thought I had it animated, but there it is. Major band of ice there, just persistent above Lake Ontario and around the New York-Canadian border, as well as snow continuing to fall over the west, central, and northwest. And Washington's getting inundated. And I got to resubmit a form, folks. There we go. And now we're looking at the U.S. the U.S. water vapor map here on the NASA GOES interactive weather satellite. And these storms have been training, and they're right above my head right now. They're taking their time getting out of here as the jet stream is moving northeast instead of just east. And let's move on to recommend everybody become a patron. Hey, help support our cause, which is vast. We're going to be doing a lot of different type of stuff in 2020, so prepare for that and help us prepare by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/smAsho, the real source of funding for the channel so far. Did you watch yesterday's cosmology segment? Well, let me give you a teaser. The title is Earth's Interior, Heavy Elements, Cosmic Toque Box, apparently a misspelling, and Vagina-Scented Candles. Who doesn't want to know about vagina-scented candles? Gwyneth, what is going through your head, Gwyneth? This smells like my vagina. Thanks, Smash Team, for tuning in to the Sunday Early Abridged Edition. And stay tuned for some bonus features where we say, hey, you check out smashamash.org yet? Did you scroll down and click on this link here, which will take you to the smAsho forum? I haven't checked it today, but we've got all kinds of different topics to talk about here, including a free-for-all. And man, we over doubled our users in the last couple of days. So thanks all of you new folks who've signed up for the forum. Please don't hesitate to post topics. Here's the colorized magnetogram. There's setting sunspot 2755's remnant. Now just a plage. There's just a plage. That's a cycle 24 feature. As we watch two cycle 25 features set. So welcome to cycle 25, folks. That's a good thing. Here's the view in 171 angstroms. There's that setting region. There's that central plage. And let's bring out one more view here. How about the 94 angstroms? Always nice and weird looking. And there you have it. That's 48 hours of solar activity, by the way, folks. You see the setting of sunspot 2756 in the northwest. as well as the more recent setting of Sunspot 2755's remnant in the southwest, and that plage, a Cycle 25 feature around the solar equator. We are out. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink, and if you drink, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back and that atherosclerosis absent from your veins.